Good morning, third graders. Okay, this is a video to show you how to collect the trait data from your trait survey that you've been working on, and then what to do with it next. So there's a few things that you're going to have to understand, and my suggestion to you is play this video on your iPad and then use your Chromebook to do some of the things that I'm going to ask you to do in this video. So the very first thing you're going to need is your trait data, which we've been inputting. Now here on Google Classroom, it's going to be right here, but since I'm making this video before we've actually done this, I'm going to use Miss Erickson's because her class has already done this. So you can see here that this is a Google sheet with all of the data populated from her class, which they all did themselves. And I can see, if I look down at number 2, line number 2, Mr. Johnson, can I taste the PTC paper? I cannot, so I wrote no. I do not have attached earlobes. I do not have freckles. I cannot roll my tongue, and I do not have a widow's peak. All very exciting stuff here. And of course I do have gray eyes. So what do you do with all this? Well, your job is to choose one of these traits: PTC, attached earlobes, freckles, tongue rolling, or widow's peak. I would suggest that you don't do eye color for right now, because it's going to be a little bit trickier to do that. So choose one of these 5 traits, and I want you to count up how many yeses and how many nos you have for each one. So I'm going to go ahead and do tongue rolling for my class here. So I'm going to count the nos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nos. So I got 7 nos. So 7 people in the class cannot roll a tongue. And here we go with yeses. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so I have 18 yeses and 6 nos. 18 yeses, 6 nos. You probably want to write that down. So 18 yes and 6 no. Now again, you can do any one of these traits, but that's the data you're going to collect. The next thing you want to do is create a new Google Sheet. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to click on File, I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to click on Spreadsheet. You see that right there? Brand new Google Sheet. This is only for you. Don't worry too much about titles or anything like that. If you'd like to put a title up here, I am going to put, what was it I choose? Tongue rolling. So I'm going to write up here, alright, so we got tongue rolling, traits, and down here in the very first box, what you're going to write is can roll GUE. Okay, so can roll tongue. The second box you're going to write cannot roll tongue. Now don't worry too much if your writing goes over the lines. You can move these if you want to move the size of the column to make sure everything fits, but don't worry about that too much. The second thing you want to do is actually add in your data now. So in the second row down, for can roll tongue, I had 18 yeses. And in the second box for cannot roll tongue, I'm going to write 6 for no. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Alright, here comes the magic. What do we do with all this? Well, we're going to try to create a chart. And to create a chart, you want to select all 4 of the boxes that we filled in just by holding down the button. I'm going to hold down the left hand mouse button. I'm going to select all 4 boxes. And I'm going to go up here to this little button called Insert Chart. And if I click on Insert Chart, it's going to give me loads of options here. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, but fortunately, we can ignore most of it. If you use this little bar here, I'm going to scroll down to this thing called Column, because we want a simple bar chart. I'm going to select Column Chart, and instantly I can see a little legend up here, blue for can roll tongue and red for cannot roll tongue. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to click Insert, and then at this point I can actually move this around the page. I'm going to put it right in the middle. All charts need to have a title, so I'm going to write tongue rolling traits, and I'm going to write 3C because that's the class that we did. Hit enter. It's important that you hit enter to apply. See, it says there, hit enter to apply. You can't just click out of it. Now over here, this is all set up. So blue is can roll tongue, red is cannot roll tongue, so that's fine. That looks good. I can see up here on the left hand side, this is what they call the left vertical axis, and if I double click in here, I can actually change this. So what do these numbers mean? Are these numbers the temperature outside? Are they the number of pancakes that I ate this morning? No, they are, of course, how many students in the class. So I'm going to write 3C students. And down here, in the horizontal axis, this is simply can they or can they not. So I'm going to write can or cannot roll tongue, and then hit enter again. It's important that you hit enter. I have this label, this label, this label. Looking good. Alright, couple more things we got to do now. Here's our chart. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click this button, and I'm going to copy chart. So we're actually going to copy this to somewhere else. Copy chart. The next thing you're going to have to do is go back to our trait data. So here's our data, and I want you to remember your number here. You can see that next to my name is number 2. Amanda is number 9. That's going to be important for this reason. That's the page that you're going to post your chart to. Okay, so I'm number 2. You're going to go back to this page, back to Google Classroom, and you'll see here we have 3C trait charts. Okay, I'm going to click on trait charts. It's going to open up this page, which is a bunch of blank slides. It's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, except they're all blank. Amanda's number 9, so that's where she would post. I am number 2, so I'm going to go to page number 2. I got my own blank page. All I have to do here is click edit, paste, edit, paste. Watch what happens. Boom, I got my chart. Simple as that. I can open this up a little bit. Looking good. Now, one of the other things that I probably should have mentioned to you is you should put your name in here somewhere. So if you forget to put your name in the actual chart, what we can do is click on this text box. I'm going to make a text box, and I'm going to write my name up here so that I know that this is my page. And that, my friends, is all we're going to do. Pretty straightforward. Raise your hand if you have any questions or you need help. And again, use this video on your iPad next to your Chromebook so you can actually be working on your Chromebook and pausing the video as you need it. Good luck.